What is a client looking for when they get their nails done? It's instant gratification in achieving a look they couldn't do for themselves at home. In today's video, I'm going to talk about what clients are looking for to find a nail technician that will best fit them and discuss the best business practices to keep the client happy and keep them in your chair. I'm also going to share an awful salon policy that I don't recommend and the story behind it, so stay tuned. In addition to showing you the best steps to accomplish a full set, we're going to talk about the other side of the business, the client. Texts post all the time in nail groups asking for advice, but for some reason when they hear an answer they don't like because they don't want to do the work to achieve the results, they keep banging their head against their nail table and stay in a constant state of trying to market and build, both which cost time and money. It doesn't matter the condition of a client's nails when they arrive in your chair. The first step is to push back their cuticles and expose as much of the nail plate as you can. Here I'm using the Meticulous Manicurist cuticle pusher, which has a beveled edge that makes sliding under any adhered skin so easy. I'll be going back and forth giving you instruction and product information as well as commentary, and if you're new here, just know I'm known for saying all the things that no one wants to talk about. You might be wondering what the client has their hand resting on. It's called the ErgoLift. It's the only patented ergonomically designed hand rest for nail techs that takes all of the weight of the client off the nail technician and keeps the client's hand exactly where it needs to be to work efficiently. The next step is to buff the portion of the nail where the tip will be adhered to. You will use small, light strokes to remove the shine off the surface of the nail. Your goal is to not remove any layer of the nail plate, only to scuff the surface. You might be questioning, why not just buff the entire nail now? Because we don't want to go over the same area twice, and when we blend the nail tip into the nail plate, that's what would happen. Now is also the time that you'll shape the free edge of the natural nail to fit the shape of your nail tip as well. I didn't realize these fingers were out of frame, so I'm going to take this opportunity to talk about proficiency instead of deleting the footage, because I want to prove to you that you are able to do this service without rushing and in a timely manner. So let's talk about time. How does being proficient benefit both the client and the nail technician? The client has a busy life, and if they find a nail tech that can accomplish the service more proficiently than you, they will leave you. Time is money on both sides of the coin. Why should anyone sit in a chair for 90 minutes and pay $75 when they can sit for 45 minutes and pay $50? I know how new nail technicians think. I was once one of them. I thought, man, I'm pretty good at this. And a year later, I said, what in the heck was I thinking? I wasn't good, but I thought I was. And then 2 years later, I thought the same thing. Practice makes perfect. And even though you're watching these videos and doing some continuing education, it still takes hands-on practice and doing the work to become more proficient. One of the items that adds time to a service is when the nail tech thinks they have to give a manicure before they give the artificial nail service. A manicure is a separate service. We are doing an artificial nail service, and the reason I didn't remove the nail polish from the nail plate is because I didn't need to yet. It will get removed when I blend the nail tips. Nail tips vary from coverage to what they are made out of. Most nail tips are made out of ABS plastic, acrylonitrile, butadiene, styrene monomers. You can tell if a nail tip is made out of ABS plastic if you squeeze it and you get a white line going down the center of it. Meticulous Manicurist nail tips are made out of PMMA, or polymethyl methacrylate, and it's actually a softer form of acrylic. It's transparent yet rigid. It's a thermoplastic with a high resistance to UV light and wear and tear, and you won't get the separation of acrylic from the tip that you can see when using ABS plastic tips, because the tips are actually made of acrylic. The tips also have a half well for easy adhesion and fit for most nail shapes, and they are also very easy to soak off if you need to. The nail resin you will also love. The nail resin dries in about 4 to 5 seconds, and you can apply all nail tips in just a couple of minutes, and they're completely dry and safe to use the nail tip cutter to shorten the nail to your desired length. Our nail tips won't squeeze the client's nail beds or cause pressure. The half well is thin and flexible for the comfort of the client and the flexibility to fit all nail shapes. To prevent the nail tips from flying all over the place, use your opposite hand to hold on to the end of the tip while you squeeze the handles of the nail tip cutter to trim the nail tip.
Can't see the hole.
Now it's time to blend the nail tip, remove the shine from the rest of the natural nail plate, and shape the free edge to the desired shape the client wants. It doesn't matter what you want. It doesn't matter what you like. It doesn't matter what you thought was popular from social media. The most popular nail shapes are square, round, and oval. Social media shows you many alternatives and variations of shapes, which are all less likely requested than any other nail shape in the salon.
Is that too long?
I don't think so. It's probably good.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
Your goal is to make sure there's no adhered skin on the nail plate around the cuticle area. You'll use the nail file to gently go around the cuticle area to remove any skin that has adhered to the nail plate. The most common reason for lifting of acrylic nails is when the acrylic touches a piece of skin that is still adhered to the nail plate. When shaping the nail tips, you're going to give a symmetrical shape, but do not focus on trying to shape the nails perfectly, because when you apply the acrylic on top of the nail tips, it's going to change the shape of the nail. You don't want to have to shape the nail perfectly twice. It doesn't matter if the nail tips are shaped perfectly. They need to be shaped symmetrically enough so when you go to file the finished product is when you perfect the shape.
Wonder why it left. Didn't take anything, did it?
I don't know that the guy got out.
Placing the nail file under the nail to file the corners off both sides of the nail tip will reduce the amount of time spent shaping the nails. It's going to take time to become proficient, and the road to accomplish that starts with the right product line. I understand gel products are all over the place and that they claim to be healthier for the nails, which is not true at all. You need a product line that is easy to apply, doesn't require additional equipment, which equals expense to cure the product. It is a good idea to have a gel product if a client has an allergy to acrylic, but the chances of having an allergy to gel is more likely. So be educated on both so you can provide what your client needs if they have an allergy to one or the other.
Have you been thinking about what color you want to do today?
Yeah, I don't know yet. Maybe like a light pink.
Okay.
The Meticulous Manicurist Primer is an acid-free primer and will not burn your client's nails. It is to be applied to the natural nail after you apply the nail tips. If you apply primer to the entire nail plate before you apply the nail tip, your nail tips will crack from the chemical interaction of the primer with the nail glue. The Meticulous Manicurist acrylic powder comes in 3 colors: crystal clear, crystal pink, and pure white. You can buy the 16-ounce refill size on our professional site, pro.themeticulousmanicurist.com. It's very important to use an acrylic powder on the nail plate that you can see through. I know there are many cover pinks and colored acrylics out there, but does anybody know why it's important to use an acrylic that you can see through? Tell me in the comments if you know why. And I'm going to tell you why. You need to be able to see if there's any lifting. If any lifting occurs, you need to remove it during the fill service, because if you fill around a lifted area, that's when a client can get a Pseudomonas spot. A Pseudomonas spot is the green area that people call nail fungus, but it's not really nail fungus. It's actually a bacterial infection. They also use the term greenie, but in fact, it is a bacterial infection. I'm using the Meticulous Manicurist acrylic brush in a size 10. I use the size 8 when I do a nail fill-in service. The bristles of the brush pick up the perfect amount of acrylic monomer to make the perfect size bead and you can control what size bead you create by filling the bristles completely or by gently tapping the bristles on the nipple of the monomer pump to remove a bit of the liquid from the bristles before you create the bead. You sit the bead about 2 millimeters away from the cuticle area and apply pressure with the bristles to slightly move the product forward. Then tip the bristles of the brush to pat around the cuticle area to prevent creating a ledge. The product should appear as if it's growing out of the cuticle area and will be perfectly blended with the nail plate when we are finished. You'll notice the product is not running all over the place when you sit down the bead. It moves exactly where you press it into place.
Did you guys paint your room?
No.
Here again, you'll set the bead a couple millimeters away from the cuticle area, slightly press to flatten it out and move it closer to the cuticle, then use the tip of the bristles to gently press the product right up to the skin without touching the skin to create the perfect shape. The crystal pink color is so pretty that if a client removes her nail polish between services, they could put a coat of clear on their nails and it would look beautiful.
I always regret my paint choices, so I've decided I'm not gonna paint anything else.
Does anyone know the benefits of using a monomer pump in lieu of a dap-in dish to do nails? The monomer pump prevents wasting product. The Meticulous Manicurist monomer pump features a Menda pump that allows you to pump up only as much liquid as you need and prevents the monomer from going back down inside the container and contaminating the rest of the liquid. You will no longer have to dump any excess liquid left in your dap-in dish that will have little pieces of powder in the bottom of it. The pump should never clog, and if you've had a pump that has been clogged in the past, you're not cleaning your brush off well enough before you insert it into the liquid, and the powder is coming off of your bristles and getting into the well of the pump. The pump also eliminates odor in the salon, so when you walk into the building, it does not smell like nail products.
Have you ever tried to apply acrylic?
I think I might have once in like middle school.
In middle school? That was ambitious.
And I did that on like one finger because I was scared.
don't even think I knew what acrylic nails were until I was in college. When you got your nails done back in Ohio, did you always go to the same place or did you go to different places?
I went to the same 2 places.
And did you have a standing appointment or did you just go when you needed them done?
I would just go.
Just wait until they were falling off or
I kept up with them for a while, but then I started not to care so much about my nails.
The filing portion of the nail service is when we blend the acrylic into the cuticle area and shape the nails so it looks as natural as possible and makes it look like the nails should be there, that they aren't actually artificial. Nail enhancements should appear as if they are the person's nails, not like they are chunks of plastic stuck on the end of someone's fingertip. The product does not take a long time to dry. It will be dry before you are finished applying the acrylic to the last finger. You will not have to sit and wait for the product to dry before you start the filing process. This is a wonderful time saver when it comes to doing a set of nails. During the filing process is when we're going to discuss a couple of the best business practices. How many of you have sat down to figure out how much it costs per service to provide the service to your client to make sure you're profitable? People doubt the statistics I provide, so I encourage you to look up the cost yourself of a 2-ounce jar of gel and the price of our 2-ounce jar of acrylic powder. The Meticulous Manicurist acrylic product line is the best expense-reducing product line you will find. And now it's time to share the awful salon policy that I would not recommend. How would you feel if you were told you had to stay with the nail technician you were booked with, and that you weren't allowed to book with any other nail technicians in the business once you started seeing the first person? Tell me in the comments. Not only do salons not own clients, but neither do nail technicians. We are in the service industry, and it's best practices that you provide and meet a client's schedule the best you can. It doesn't matter who they see. I've witnessed so many butthurt nail technicians over the years when they see someone they gave a service to in another nail technician's chair in the salon. Let me be the first to tell you, they may just have a schedule conflict. You should automatically assume the client had a schedule conflict and trust your peer and coworker will take good care of them and they will be back on your books on the next visit. But as soon as you make them feel like they cheated on you or did something wrong or something that they weren't supposed to do, not only may they not come back to you, they may not come back to the salon at all.
Is that pressure okay?
Clients shouldn't have
hurting
to
you?
deal with that. We are in the service industry. If you're doing your job and meeting their needs, they will be standing in line to get back on your books. Best business practices is to keep the client happy and keep them in the salon. As soon as you make a client feel you are not willing to accommodate their schedule by making them adhere to a nail technician's schedule, they're just going to find another salon to go to. Another best business practice is to check with your client during the service to make sure the pressure is okay with the client. The client will sit in silence while they are enduring the discomfort of a heavy hand. Clients, please speak up and let the nail technician know that they're using too much pressure and that you would be more comfortable if they used a little less pressure.
Have you watched the Netflix series Firefly Lane?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it good?
Mm-hmm.
I just finished it yesterday. Will your dad watch stuff like that with you?
He's already watched like most of the stuff that I want to watch. Like he watched a lot of TV, but he would if I asked him.
Bruce wouldn't usually watch a girl show with me, but he watched that. When do classes start?
I think the last week of August.
Nice. How's the shape? You want anything changed?
No, this is good.
Here I'm using the Meticulous Manicurist carbide cone bit in extra fine to remove fine lines from the surface of the acrylic and to perfect the shape. You do not have to use an electric file. You can move straight to using the Meticulous Manicurist buffer board, which will also remove the fine lines and refine the surface. The before and after photos are coming up in just a couple minutes. And finally, it's time to apply the nail polish. I'm applying the Meticulous Manicurist base coat called All About That Base. Then I will apply 2 coats of polish, followed by the Meticulous Manicurist quick dry top coat and the Meticulous Manicurist cuticle oil called Call Me Ma'am Mango. Our line of colors comes in 37 polish colors, all of which can be layered to make hundreds of different nail polish colors. The nail polish line is free of carcinogenics and dries very quickly, so there's no wait time between coats of nail polish. Thanks so much for staying tuned until the end. Don't forget to leave me a comment for your chance to be featured in one of my upcoming videos with the comment with the most likes. And let me know if you're looking for a nail technician who has been trained in the Meticulous Manicurist methods. Stay well, and I'll see you next time.